What is up, guys? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at the co-main event of UFC Fight Night, Luke versus Muhammad 2. We're going to be looking at Caio versus Gadzhi Omargadzhiev. Two contender alumni making their official UFC debut against each other. So before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, let's get right into it. So Caio, the Natrual Borralho, he's 10-1. He's 29 years old. He's 5'10" with a 75-inch reach. He's coming off a knockout win over Jesse Murray on the Contender Series. And Gadzhi Omargadzhiev, he's 13-0. He's 29 years old. He stands at 6'1" with a 67-inch reach. His last fight was a win against Jancy Silva, also on the Contender Series. So both these guys, had strong performances on the Contender Series. Now looking to make their official UFC debut. What you think, Jeff?
I think this one's going to be a cool one. I think Gadzhi, I think he's going to go.
It's pronounced Gadzhi.
All right, Gadzhi.
Yes, have some goddamn
respect. All right, another Russian fighter. You know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to take him down. I think he's going to probably get another finish on the ground. This is going to be their UFC debut, I believe, right? For both of them?
Yeah, official UFC debut.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I kind of thought it was interesting that these two guys were at the co-main event, considering, they're very new, but they must be pretty exciting fighters to make a co-main as their UFC debut. So, I think Gadzhi's going to be... I think he's going to take him down. I think he's probably going to get the ground and pound finish. Caio, I think he does tend to overextend on his shots from what I've seen in his previous fights. Yeah, what you think, Latch?
Man, I think this is super interesting too. Two possible prospects, put together against each other. Mm-hmm. I think too early, in my opinion. But, I mean, it's going to be, like you said, it's going to depend on whether Gadzhi can take this fight to the ground. He's from Dagestan. He has the Dagestani wrestling, so you already know what he's going to be trying to do. Everything from his striking to his feints is basically setting up his grappling, setting up his wrestling. When he feints, he feints his striking with level changes, so you can't really guess where it's coming from. But I think the biggest factor will be if Caio can really stop the takedowns. And from what we've seen, I mean, it looks pretty positive for the most part because he is a southpaw. He's a karate stance fighter, so it makes him light on his feet. But it does make him, it makes him vulnerable to the single leg, And if I don't think you can give anything to this dude, because in the striking department, Caio's definitely more well-rounded. He throws more strikes. He fights very smart, in my opinion. But like I said, it all depends on the wrestling. Because if this fight stays on the feet, I mean, we've seen Gadzhi, he has pretty decent power, but a lot of his fights have ended on the ground through to ground and pound, submissions, whatever. That's just where he feels most comfortable and where he's most dangerous. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions because Caio, he's a judo brown belt and a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. So he has a lot of credentials on the ground. In my opinion, the judo will probably help him the most here. And, I mean, he has shown pretty decent wrestling defensively and offensively. So it makes me think that he has been putting in work on the wrestling for a while now. And, what is his team called? His team's called, like, MMA Nerds or something like that. And they like, pride themselves on fighting the smartest possible ways. Mm-hmm. And so that really gives me a lot of it makes me very optimistic on his chances on stopping the takedowns because that means they've been planning it because they know what this guy's game plan is. They know he can't beat him on the feet. So I wonder how much they've been planning and training the takedowns,
You think that'll make him vulnerable to
the striking?
The wrestling overhand?
Yeah, I think so. But in the karate stance, there's too much distance to cover for that to work, I think.
That's true.
And so I actually don't think he's going to be able to get him down. I think Caio's actually going to weather the storm. And I think he's going to piece him up on the feet. And I even think he's going to use his own wrestling. The only thing is I think when he wrestles offensively, he gets a little, like his technique falls apart a little bit. And he cannot give that to Gadzhi. I think he could get reversed and stuff like that. But I like Borralho's chances in this. I think he's a slight underdog, and obviously so. People are familiar now with the Dagestani wrestling and how hard and how difficult it is to deal with. But I like Borralho's chances. I think he has shown that he has the IQ and the skills to kind of put it all together and stop the takedown. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this. I'm going to go with the underdog, Caio Borralho. I think he's going to be able to stop the takedowns and piece Gadzhi on the feet. I think he's going to even mix it up a little bit, toss him around maybe a few times to let him know, he's a big dog here, But
True.
So I actually have Borralho by decision What do you think?
I already said it's like no. I got Gadzhi by. I think he's gonna win by ground and pound. It is a 3-round fight, so it could really go either way. I mean, it's not for sure like 100% either fighter. Well, it never is, but it's a pretty close fight, and it's only 3 rounds, so it could go either way in my opinion. So we'll see who's right, I guess.
All right, guys. Well, those were our predictions. I got Caio Borralho by decision. I think he's going to be able to stop the takedown, and I think he's going to kind of use his karate boxing to keep his distance and kind of point his way to a decision win against a very dangerous grappler in Gadzhi. Jeffrey thinks Gadzhi will be able to get him down to the ground and actually ground and pound him out to TKO victory. Let us know down below what you think. Do you think the Natrual gets it done? Or do you think Gadzhi shows us why Dagestani wrestling is a force to begin with? Let us know down below what you think. And yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. I know people hate Bilal Muhammad, like to hate on him, but it's going to be a good night of fights. Luke is a Camus type of fighter, and there's a lot of good fighters on this card. Don't forget to tune in. It's going to be a great night of fights, and we'll see you then.
Yep, see you there.
See you.